are you doing today, Mr. Neal?
Hey, how are you? It's
absolutely fantastic. I'll tell you what, man, you're right there in middle America, St. Louis. Out in Montana, St. Louis is like New York City. And I think it's because the Missouri becomes part of the Mississippi. And St. Louis was that one place that we always studied in Montana.
Hey, wow. I love that. I'm a geography nerd too. So most people don't want to talk about that, but hey, I'm with you, man.
Well, the lay of any river has my attention. I can see a little stream up in the mountain and I want to know exactly how that water is going to make it to the ocean.
Yeah, man, I love thinking about that. I every time I cross these highway bridges of the Missouri River, I just like to look west and just imagine. My mind just takes me down the river. There's a little bit of Lewis and Clark inside of every St. Louisan, I think. We just look west and we want to know what's there.
Have you ever taken that little journey or been someplace where Lewis and Clark were? Because we had Pompey's Pillar up in Montana and we spent a lot of time there. And I just wanted to feel the energy because that's the only place where they carved their name in stone.
Whoa. See, wow, man, this is like the coolest interview I've done this morning. This is way cool, man. I love this stuff. No, I haven't. I've never made it to Montana. I've spent a lot of time out west, but I've never gotten to Montana. And but I'm saving the best for last.
There you go. What you been doing out west? Have you been out there in Seattle? What you been doing?
Well, I've been all over. Yeah, I spent a lot of great time in Seattle. I had an uncle there when I was a kid, and for not many kids from St. Louis were like flying to Seattle twice a year, but that's what my mom would do for me and my sister. And I just, the Emerald City, man, I have such great memories of that. I had an uncle in Portland, so I've spent a lot of time out there, but also on the road with my band. We've spent just so much time, great time in Colorado. And the fact that we never made it to Montana is really that there were just so many gigs in Colorado. It's like, we would feast and be gorging ourselves on gigs by the time we could ever make it to Montana. So
well, I totally get what the reason why you were connected in Colorado, because I mean you take a song like the Farmer's Song. I mean it's bluesy. I mean it's got that feel about it. Plus it also speaks the street of those open fields.
Yeah, that's a big part of I guess our brand.
Yeah,
that's not what I really want to use, but we're from St. Louis, which. There's a lot of urban influences in our music because like we live in all these old historic brick neighborhoods, but man, it's not very hard to get out to nature around here and get out to like vast endless farmlands or really rugged Ozark forests. So we just grab all of that up in a big handful and use it to write our songs.
When are you going to do a concert while standing on a gigantic haystack? Because to me, that's what's missing from Americana music right now is the fact that it's like, man, get out there at the soil and do it in the open fields of nothingness.
Well, that's a funny thing you say that because a couple of years ago we did do when we released that single Farmer Song, and that's from the Mighty Pines, the band that I play with.
Yeah.
We did a tour, a mini tour called Farmers United, and we actually played on all these great family farms throughout Missouri for about a week.
Oh,
it was really cool, and we were we didn't have quite the notoriety and success that we have now regionally as a band. So the concerts weren't exactly heavily attended, but the concept was there and it was executed really well. And maybe we'll have to bring that back.
Well, the acoustic sound that you have with the Mighty Pines, I mean, my God, that fits so perfectly in that atmosphere. I could just look at the cow. I mean, the cows are probably staring at you going, moo, moo.
Oh. They totally are. And anytime I'm playing a concert that has kind of a unique stage setup, in this case, cows looking at me or open skies or just anything that's different than just like a dark, dingy old bar stage. Those are times that I really am glad that I'm a musician and I enjoy those. Just making music in interesting spaces is something that really lights me up.
Do you see yourself as being a blue-eyed soul boy? Because I mean, you really bring it together with Thinking About You.
Yeah, I kind of do actually think that that's really who I am deep down, which is kind of why. That's why I wanted to do the voice, I think, and that's the color that I'm kind of showing on the voice, because that's where it's like the unrealized part of myself, the blue-eyed soul kid inside. It's like he's always been in there, and the Mighty Pines have always leaned more towards a bluegrass slash kind of Americana flavor, which is great. That's also inside of me too. But, you know, there's this unrequited love affair with Blue Eyed Soul that I had to get out. And I think that's what people are seeing on The Voice this year.
Have you crossed paths with the Avett brothers at all?
Well, I wouldn't say, well, it depends on your definition of crossing paths. Yes, you know, the Mighty Pines have been the first band of the day on massive festival stages, where the Avett brothers are the last. So I do physically cross paths with them as we're both walking to the catering tent or we're walking to the porta potty. But I wouldn't say we've, you know, creatively or, you know, conversationally cross paths yet.
Yeah, that's the 6 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon. Yeah, we were there. We were all there together. We did it.
Yeah, man. Totally.
So what was on that mixtape that your father gave you? Because, I mean, that's the one thing I missed in my life is I didn't have a connection with music with my parents. So for you to get this, I mean, that had to have been something very special.
Yeah, it was, man. I'm constantly trying to reconstruct this playlist. And in fact, I'm even looking up, I have a note on my phone where every time I hear a song out in the world, I might remember, oh my God, this was on that mixtape. So here, I'm going to read off some of the tracks because I've been able to remember some of them. Okay. Your Smiling Face by James Taylor.
Nice.
One of the biggest bangers ever. Hold On, I'm Coming, Sam and Dave. Cool Jerk by the Capitals.
Oh my God.
And then to show you how totally awesomely random it was, The Art of Love by Michael Franks. I love all these songs, by the way. And this was like my dad's music taste. So there's everything from like 50s sort of rhythm and blues, Stax soul, sappy 70s, you know, dance music, I guess, with that James Taylor. And then you know, intellectual jazz pop of the 80s with Michael Franks. So that, I don't know. That's me in a nutshell. I love all those 4 songs that I just mentioned. I mean, I'm still wild about to this day.
And every one of them feature amazing harmony, which really now I understand why you guys did what you did with the song Ironside.
Yeah. That's a proud moment. I love that you know some of our songs, and I'm so happy to talk about them. Ironside is a song we're really proud of as a band, not just because of our arrangement, which really does have that sort of ensemble harmony vibe that you can get from a bluegrass thing, but that is a song that, like I said, was really influenced by place, and that song came to me as I was hiking the Ozark Trail in southern Missouri. And there's actually all these towns down there called like Ironton, because it's an old lead mining, I guess, community and different metals, but it's all kind of like a ghost town now. Like a lot of that industry has left, so it's kind of spooky down there, but in the best way for songwriting. It's really inspirational.
Wow, where can listeners go? Because I know you've got merchandise. There's no way you're going to get away with this without telling me where they can get merchandise and find out more about the band.
Yes. Well, just simply type The Mighty Pines into your favorite, you know, internet search bar. But of course, you can go to themightypines.com. That's kind of our home base for everything. But we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and of course, on your streaming services too. So however you like to listen to music, you'll find us.
Dude, you got to come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure.
You be brilliant today, okay?
Okay, you too.